Hi, thank you for being here. Y'all know how happy it is to say this stuff. I be thinking all this stuff, so I get so excited when I turn that camera on. I finally get to say it to somebody. So today's topic, I'm just gonna explain what this is. Unlimited. Quotation mark, no quotations. Parentheses. Unlimited. So let me go back, explain who I am. My name is Shae Imani. So I'm a mother of 5. I had my first child while getting my bachelor's degree, pregnant with my second when I graduated. I'm not gonna lie, I attempted to start multiple businesses during having kids and working and stuff, and it didn't work out. So I'm going back to school. Ironically, I found out I was pregnant with my 4th the day I got my acceptance letter in graduate school. me, that wasn't gonna stop nothing though. So, despite the fact that I was extremely sick, then I got diagnosed with gestational diabetes. So I was technically high risk at all this stuff going on, starting from 2 months pregnant. I started graduate school at 3 months pregnant. Started graduate school in spring of 2018 pregnant with my 4th baby. I eventually had my husband get hurt, so he couldn't work. So I was working full time, taking care of him after his surgery because he could no longer work. I'm working full time. I am going to graduate school full time. I had 4 kids, one who was still breastfeeding. So I'm working full time, cutting grass. I'm making meals on my lunch breaks. Thankfully, I worked from home. Just doing it all, okay? And despite that, 2018 I started graduate school. In 2019 December I graduated with a 4.0 despite all of that. And you know what, people see me and I tell them that, they're going, oh my gosh, you're a super mom. And now I have 5 kids, still working. Hopefully one day I will quit, but just being honest, transparent, I still work full time, work from home though. 5 kids, business, obviously, that's my brand, Unlimited. Author, still exercise almost every day, still cook my meals from scratch. Busy woman, right? And people call me a super mom. It's funny because I've never actually called myself that ever. I don't know. I guess some people would think it's cocky to call themselves that anyway, but I think that, and I've never thought myself as a super mom because for me it was just, if I want something done, I do it, and so I didn't think it really needed a title. So, excuse me, I'm using my phone. And so I feel like too many people put labels on that because it's like, well, what made me super? Do you think that being a mom means you can't do those things? And so being a mom and I did, does that mean that makes me super? Let's be real. I shouldn't have done that at all. That was hard, okay? I am not one of moms who get sleep deprivation with a newborn. I had sleep deprivation with a 1-year-old, going to graduate school, taking care of my husband, and my 4 kids, working full time, and going to graduate school full time, being up till 3, 4 in the morning doing my homework, and then getting up at 7 in the morning to do work, to do my job. And then I would work overtime because I told you my husband couldn't work at that time, so I would work overtime to make sure I had more money. This was temporary because once my husband recovered, he went back to work, but still rough. And I would get sleep headaches constantly, or migraines, seeing floaters and everything, to the point that I just crashed and I would have to sleep. And the fact that I had a 4.0, honestly, I don't know how I did that. And I shouldn't have, and I don't wish that on anyone. My counselor, so the way the graduate school program works is most graduate programs are actually pretty small, and then so you can't just sign up for 14 classes if that's what you choose to do. Like in undergrad, nobody's really tracking how many classes you sign up for, but in graduate school, you have a graduate plan. And so you have to plan out how you're going to do it and when you're going to graduate. And I submitted my plan to my academic advisor, and she highly recommended I did not do that. She said this is a heavy course load, and this is mostly for people who are single with nothing else going on. So if you have a family or a job, I don't recommend you do this. And I'm like, sign the paper. And I did it, and I graduated with a 4.0, but it was hard. And she was right, that this isn't for people with a family. And even though I did it, some people go, well, you said she's right, but you did it. I did, but you know what? Most people wouldn't have handled that. And I honestly don't recommend it because it's not normal. The amount of pressure that I put on myself is not a normal amount, and I don't recommend other people do that because we all have different levels of stress that we can handle. And don't compare yourself to other people's level of stress. If you can't handle what I can handle, that's fine. That is perfectly fine. Don't go, well, she did it, I can do it too. Maybe not. That's why I said you're unlimited. You are limited to what your body can handle. Everyone's body can handle things differently. You're unlimited once you realize what those limitations are and conquer them. Let's use entrepreneurs for example. Tyler Perry started doing plays by himself. He used his own money, his own resources. He did that by himself. And you'd have to hire people for his plays with his own pocket, right? Obviously now he's not doing everything by himself. He didn't build Tyler Perry Studios by himself. I was looking at Bishop T.D. Jakes, 65 years old. He has so many things under his belt. How do you think these people are able to do so much? They have other people. So they realize that if I want to do this, I have to hire competent people to execute it because I cannot do everything myself. Their limitation is the inability to do things by themselves. They become unlimited when they conquer that limitation by hiring people to do it for them. So if your limitation is being a mom, okay, figure out a way that you can do this and be a mom. So, for example, and this is all in my book, Unlimited Power, so I'm not going to go in full detail. So if you want more detail, you can get my book, but this is the basis pretty much. I'm explaining how the concept came about for my book. So, if your limitation is being a mom, if your child is having behavior issues, then you might need to solve the behavior issues. Seek your resources, read books, seek school counselors, seek other moms, seek your doctor. Use your resources to figure out how you can help your child. Once your life gets more manageable with your child, then it's like, okay, I got that good. I have more time to do something else. For example, I have a friend who has an autistic child. Her child is in therapy and stuff, and she's progressing. So now she's looking at going back to work. She solved that limitation. Her limitation was dealing with autism and being new to dealing with autism. She solved that limitation. Now she can move forward. So that's what I do. I figure out how something is holding me back, and then I solve it so I can move forward. So that's the thing that I think sets me apart, that makes me what people call a super mom, is that I don't think I'm limited to being a mom. I figure out why being a mom is setting me back, and then I solve that. So I don't, and that doesn't mean ditch your kids, okay? I don't ditch my kids. My kids stay with me. I don't even have childcare. I don't have family in town either. So it's just me and my husband and my kids for the most part, and I have friends, but so my kids are with me. Like now, the reason I'm able, like if you've seen my other videos, you notice I look the same in all of them because they're all recorded at the same time. My kids were sleeping. I got up early before work and I did my videos. So then after this, I'm going to eat, do my job, get my kids set up for school, stuff like that, and that's it. Like, I made time to do what I want to do. I want this side business, and I want to grow into my full-time business. So I made time for it. I made room for it in my schedule, and I made it a priority. And since I did it while my kids were sleeping, so it's not interfering with my parenting. You see what I'm getting at? So when you find a way, find a system that works for you, that allows you to accomplish your goals instead of giving up on them simply for being a mom. And this goes for everything else too. Whether it's a disability, you know, like I told my friend when she found her daughter autism, like, don't think of it as she's disabled, she's differently abled, okay? You can still do it, you just gonna have to do it differently. I saw a man with no arms put on makeup better than me. 2 functioning hands. I cannot do makeup like he did. I've seen people who are supposed to be disabled do things that you can't even imagine. I've seen moms with more kids than me accomplish stuff. Like, so the goal isn't to overexert yourself in order to be a super mom. For me, the goal is to accomplish whatever is holding you back. Accomplish your goals by addressing whatever's holding you back. So that's what Unlimited is about. And that's what my page, my brand, my store, my everything you're going to see that I do is going to be about, helping you figure out where you need to grow or change. And I don't give, you might notice that my advice is not specific all the time, because I don't believe anything can be specific. I can't map out how I got my degrees as a mom, because what worked for me might not work for you. My goal is to help you figure out how it can work for you. Going back to like my friend with autism, me and her had our first 3 babies together. Like, literally, all of our kids are within either a few months or a few weeks apart. So even though we were going through similar things at the same time, our lives are so different in many other ways. And what she can handle compared to what I can handle are so different in other ways. So she can't look at me and say, well, you did it, so I can do it too. Your life is different. I don't have an autistic child. You know, even though I homeschool, but, you know, so I don't have that to where I send my kids away during the day, so I'm free during the day. I don't have that, but we're different. And when you acknowledge that you're different and stop trying to do what other people do, do what you can do what works best for you. And if that's simply only being a mom, good for you. Kill it as a mom and still be proud of yourself. Because being a mom it can be a tough job, and not only that, it's a very important one. So many people today who are messed up because they had a poor parent. So if only thing you're doing is being a mom, and you're being a bomb one, that is something to be proud of. That is an accomplishment in itself, even if you've done nothing else career-wise. That is something to be proud of. And I think it's something, and that goes for dads too. I'm not one of the people who act like dads aren't important, because there are so many people who are messed up from having either an absent father, because that hurt them mentally or emotionally. There are people who are messed up from having a bad father, just like there are people messed up from having a bad mother. So fathers too. Anyone who, because most men aren't stay-at-home dads, but if your biggest accomplishment is being a good dad, be proud of that as well. Because so many people don't have a good dad or don't have a good mom, even if they have their mom. Being a good parent is one of those things that we don't talk about how important it is, but man, do you realize how many people on this earth would be better off if they didn't have to heal from the trauma of having a terrible parent? So that alone is something to be proud of. Don't let anyone discredit you because all you're doing is being a mom. That is one of the most important jobs you could ever have. Okay? So, I think I did enough rambling for today. Thank you for listening. Welcome to Unlimited. Bye.